let me show you the keyboard. Quick piano lesson here. Well, it's kind of a music lesson at the same time. But, so, there's an octave. These notes repeat each other all through the, let me learn how to explain things in English real quick. This is an octave. There's, what is it? I think 8 of these, 9 of these on a piano. These notes are the same note. Just one's an octave higher than another. That's the reason why for the repeating 2s and 3s. That's because they're all the same note, right? So, if I do this, it's... That's the 7. I'm sorry. Quick piano lesson. That's what I promised, right? So, this is the most easy one to learn, right? Is C, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the fingering that you would use to play the notes. This is a third. This is a fifth. This is a seventh. Well, sorry. There's a difference between sevenths here too, because you want to do a major seventh. You got to sound all jazzy with it. And if you do a minor seventh, you sound all bluesy with it. Like you got to go like. The G7, okay, so the G is the chord that I'm playing. So, the G is also a note on the keyboard. So, oh, hello. I swear that this song sounds so much better with that. Yeah, back to 0. There we go. But yeah. That wouldn't be entirely a thing. I think, don't they have Bach as actually like one of the spooky vibes or something like that? I forget, to be completely honest though. I don't know Mario. Like I said, I'm not a gamer. I'm planning on playing Apex maybe eventually here if I get distracted enough to the point where I'm like, I'll have to put this off for another day. But yeah, I like I said, I haven't done most stuff that most people have, right? I just figured out what the internet was like a year or 2 ago, right? So I've been trying to catch up with a whole bunch of people. I haven't played video games to the thing. Actually, the original point of this channel, right, was to play retro games for the first time because I've never played them before, and have people just be like, "How do you not know what this is?" And I'd be like, because. Not a gamer. So yeah. that's something different though. But yeah, so the whole point, I was doing this stuff instead. That's probably why. So G is this note. But at the same time, there's a chord, right, that goes associated with it. That's a G. G chord. So G chord. And then if you add another third on top of it, 4 keys actually, yeah. So maybe I should break it down further. I was swearing I was going to get a quick piano lesson here. I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. A chord can be as many keys as you want, actually. It can be, but no one does that. Usually a chord is 2 or 3 keys. Like when someone says that they're playing power chords on a guitar, right? It's literally just... sorry. It's just 2 keys. So, let me explain it in C, because it's simpler. This is upside down for everybody. Can I flip my thing around? Yeah, typically the root. Okay, let me see if I can't explain this in a simpler manner. I was gonna teach piano lessons for a little bit, but then I decided against it. Stay. All right. So let me flip this around and see if I could show you. So this is an octave. Whoops. So these are both C's. This is a D, this is an E, this is an F, this is a G, this is an A, this is a B, this is a C. Those are the notes. C major scale, yeah. So a chord is the first note, also known as the tonic or the root. So if I refer to it as a root, please don't kill me. It's just that's the way that I refer to stuff. It's so it's a root, and then you play the third of it, which is 4 half steps. Well, it's easier to just see, like, especially on a C major scale, it's just C, E, it's a third. It's one whole step, well, 4 half steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah. And then you add another bit to it. That, my friend, is a C chord. First, or the root, or the tonic, the third of it, which is this note, and then the fifth. And that's your chord. First, root, fifth. Now you can also start adding on a whole bunch of stuff, but I think that's a little bit too much to explain. But you were asking about sevenths, right? So let me explain this. So, oh yeah. Well, I don't count. I just kind of have them memorized the way that I want to go. But yeah, eventually, you start out by counting them. That's a third. And eventually, once you listen to it for long enough, you start to hear the difference between the tonal values of the stuff. So you'll be able to hear that this is a third, way up here. And then you'll be like, that sounds different than this. So, yeah. That's first, root, fifth. And then seventh is this. That's a flat 7. What do I call it? What do I say that this is? It's the way you would play a 7 chord. On this keyboard, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's usually a total of around 7 on a real keyboard. I don't know for sure, but there's 5 on this keyboard, and I think that this is a 66 note. Basically, literally, all of these are notes. All of them. They're all notes. That's 66 notes. Yeah. Really, honestly, like, you could put a piece of tape. Let me mark it out for you, right? So, whoops, sorry. I probably should have something to show you. There, that'll work. Pull some post-it notes off. Try and explain this a little bit better. Yeah, because you don't have to learn all 66 notes. You just have to think of, oh, there's these notes in this octave, and then just rephrase it for 1, 2, 3 more. And then realize, because see this, but you see how you're saying that it makes things too scary? That's exactly what I run into when I'm making music, right, with on the keyboard. It's literally like, I have so many options to play with, it literally paralyzes my creative ability. to do that. Because I'm like, okay, I have too many octaves I can play with. I have too many things that I can do with this keyboard. It's kind of messing with me. All right, so these are all the octaves. All marked out by a little post-it note on the C note. So this is an octave, and 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 that's an octave. So yeah, all you got to do is, once you learn it inside this one octave of notes, you can translate that to everything. It's pretty awesome. So to start with, I'll stick it up here for now. Hopefully you can still see. Yeah, I got distracted. That's cool though. I always love talking about music and stuff, so this is great. So this is your octave, right? This is an example of an octave, marked out by the little yellow bits, right? This is where so music is a pattern, right? This is where the pattern restarts. So this is the same note, but an octave higher, right? So these notes are the same. This is where the pattern repeats. I hope that makes sense. But like, see how that kind of sounds all the same? I don't know, but yeah, this is octave. Yeah, we can give it an example as that. Yeah, too. So this would be C to C. This is the same letter as this letter. Well, maybe I should name the notes for you. Let me get a Sharpie or something. And by the way, the naming system's kind of stupid, so don't blame me for this. And excuse my bad handwriting. I write like a 5-year-old. All right. So these are the same notes. Now, the reason why it's phrased ABC like this is because on a huge keyboard, actually, it starts out on the A as the lowest note on the keyboard. Yeah, it repeats. So this would be C, D, F, G, A, B, C, then back to D, then E, then F, then G, then A, then B, then C again. See? So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. If I can learn to write, that'd be very helpful. But yeah, so that's an octave, right there. There's your octave. And the reason why they started with A and B right here rather than starting off at C, which is the simplest one. How can it be? I don't exactly know how to explain this, right? I'm not exactly a music major anymore. It's called the same as another in a different octave. How do I say this? So we have a 12-tone equal temperament. 12 tones are this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are 12 tones. 12-tone equal temperament meaning that they're going to all be the same no matter what octave you play them. If someone tells me to press C, which C? Goodness. How do I explain this? I'm sorry, I haven't actually explained this yet to people, so I got to try and figure out what my words should be. Actually, how many viewers do we have? Because it says I have 0 viewers, so how are you watching this? This is often known as middle C, because when you sit down to the piano and it's an 88 key, wait, I have my phone. I could take you to a real piano. All right. Well, let me show you real quick. I'm gonna go downstairs to my actual piano. Okay, this is a real piano. It's not a great one, but it's a real one. I can't mark up on this one, so keep that in mind. Oops. So if I sit down to a keyboard, right? This is a full 88 keys. Oh, by the way, hello. There's another bass there. Just the one, actually. It's like a condominium where you got like the door to the house goes one way or another way. One goes up, one goes down. There's like one floor. So this is the same notes, right? But oops. When I sit down to the keyboard, right? Like plop. The first note that should be in front of me, right, is this note, middle C. And also, the reason why people like using C a lot as a way to define things is because it's really clean to define the things. It's always the first one before this black key. The C starts at the very left of the two black keys group. Always at the left of the black key group. The black key group with two. So boop, 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 boop. Yeah. So then it's also the reason why people a lot of people start out using the C chords is because it's all the white keys. C is literally. See how that sounds really nice and clean. That's because it's a major chord. Sorry, a major scale. So it goes, and a minor scale would be an example of this. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Oop, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Sorry. But yeah, see how it sounds less good? Less happy? This sounds kind of happy, you know? Something like that, right? That could be... Yeah. And then this sounds really sad. That sounds kind of sad and kind of angry. Yeah, that's the difference between the two. In a non like I am explaining to you as if this is like a college class kind of way. But yeah, so this is, and you play any notes in this chord, any of the white notes in C, and you sound like you know what you're doing. Right? So you can play literally all the notes. Yeah. If you're playing in C, don't touch the black keys, basically. And that's the reason why it's really simple to teach people to learn piano with C starting out as a thing. Also, there's theory involved with it, but the theory doesn't matter at this point. So don't touch the black keys. There's your octave. And that's the reason why this is middle C. And you would know which C to press if you're reading music, for example, right? Like, I'm sorry for the Christian thing, but I do play I play hymns. So let's see if I can turn this. Woo. If you're tuning a piano, which I've never done, woo, it's upside down. There we go. That'll work. So if you're tuning a piano, this is C1, this is C2, this is C3, this is C4, this is C5, this is C6, this is C7, this is C8. Yeah. But because people read music, mostly people read sheet music more than anything else, like this sort of stuff, right? This sort of thing. Yeah. You probably have, actually. Yeah. If you've used FL Studio, yeah, you've definitely seen that. Because it's... Yeah, it's... how do I explain it? What does? Oh, this? Kind of does, actually. But yeah, so, like, if you see C1, that's this. If you see C8, it's this. Oh, the sheet music? No. Piece of cake, dude. All right. So let me explain it to you. This is not a good one to do. I have to put one that's in C. Nope, that's not in C. Give me a second here. 1 second. How come everything's got flats and sharps? Flats. Hey, there we go. He leadeth me. I've never heard this song before. But, honestly, if you really want to learn music, by the way, hymns are the best way to do this stuff, because it's all phrased in a way that you could never possibly understand how that works. Oh, we'll get there. So this is how this would sound, right? So it goes, that's how that whole thing goes. That's all the notes from start to finish. Maybe I can place this somewhere where I can show you what you're doing. Oh, so this note here, remember I was talking about middle C? That's middle C. Just on a staff. And then the line above it is an E. The line above it is a G. The line above it is a major is a B. And then it switches to spaces beyond that. Yeah, so that's middle C. So this stuff would be the stuff that's right below it, right above it. So if this is middle C, oops, sorry. This is middle C. The stuff right below it would be B from the lower octave, and D from that octave. And that's that one. B and D and C. And then this is your, remember how I was talking about the major chord? That's the first bit of it. Yeah. Sheet music goes down to up. So the bass clef is usually played with the left hand and goes down to up, just the same way as anything else, except you read it different because they decided to notate it different because they made it in the 1400s and didn't decide to change anything. So, you know, it's... Yeah. So this is... That one's the C. Boom. Then that is B and D. And then back further... Ooh, let's see if I can show you this. That bit is C and E, because that's the same note as this one. That's how long you're supposed to hold the note for. So in the time signature of 4/4, you have 4 equal notes. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the stuff that has a little line on it means you half that, right? So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, stuff with that little line on top of it, right? The line or the line that's connected to another line like that would be
would be half that. So it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what those dots mean is you extend it for a half. So instead of 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Oh, sorry. Let me do this actually the right way. 1, 2, 3. So, sorry. Oh, so by the way, the little bars on the side, right? Those are measures. So, remember I was saying you have a count of 4? You can only count to 4 in a measure? Those bars indicate where your measure stops. For me, you're supposed to memorize things. I never got far enough to memorize how to figure out all this stuff too quickly. So it takes me a little bit of a second because I do have to think about it a little bit still. It's not too hard though. It's just hard to do both hands because you got to read really quick. So those bars indicate that you've ran out of your 4 beats, right? So if I was going to play this as if they were all quarter notes, right? So discount this stuff and make it pretend that it's all just like these normal, nice, clean, little lined notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And let's pretend like these, this one's missing its dots. This one's, remember I said you could count to 4, right? So that indicates the start of the 4. This is where you go, okay, we're starting to count to 4 now. And then it goes, you have your 4 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you stop at that. That's the end of your 4. Yeah, it's rhythm. So it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is the way to properly read this. But if I was going to play it as the ones with the straight lines are the normal notes. The ones that don't have straight lines are the special ones. So these ones are fine, right? It's the line going down is just people are stupid. The line going up and down doesn't matter all that much. The reason why you put it down is because on the bass clef, it's much easier to see that the notes are connected to each other, especially if you're getting like some Chopin piece out. You got to deal with like 7 notes all at once, right? It's kind of a pain in the butt to be able to read. To be able to read chords. So if you read, if you're trying to read all of this stuff, well, where's a good, nice and complicated bit here? There we go. Like these, it's easier to see. It's easier to see it if it's on the right staff. So if it goes up and above into the next line here, that's not what you want to see. So you wanted to just see like this part. So this it's just so it's easier to read. Oh, it's a piece of cake. This part is pretty easy to play. So let me see if I can set up the camera somewhere. Ooh, too far away. Anyway. Listen. Okay, maybe just easy for me. Well, let's do this. Maybe this will work. Boop. Is there a way I can get it closer? Closer. Let's see if that stays. So, it's much easier to play this song with the notes in front of you, by the way, too. Just, not even like a, oh yes, I'm reading this as I go thing, but it's more of just like a confidence thing. It's, that's the complicated part. Point being is these notes is this. It's a whoa. See, that whole thing with the muscle memory. That's the other one. So that's all those notes are. It's easier to keep track of bigger sets of notes. Back in the day, goodness, I don't really like showing my face on stuff. That's the whole reason why I was trying to not you have to use this setup. But so I have a couple videos, but I don't know. They weren't really all that impressive. I was just an average piano player, to be completely honest. Yeah, my little brother is much better at this than me. But the whole point of having those wait, or where are we? Listen, man, if you play any instrument for goodness, over a decade, you should have learned quite a bit more than I have. But yeah, so the reason for the stems going up and down is exclusively so if you stack on a whole bunch of those little notes, it's easier to find them in the right little boop in that right little thing there. Yeah. So back to what we were saying, I think. So talking about rhythm, right? This is an example of 4 sets of quarter notes. So it would be phrased like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has 2 lines though. The 4th one. Oh, you mean this one? That's because it's middle C, and some people phrase it that way. It's a quirk of having middle C. Yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you add a line to it, it's special rhythmically, and if you add dots to it, it's special rhythmically as well. So this one is saying hold it out for longer. This one's saying make it shorter. So instead of going like this, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, it would be 1, 1. Oh well, let's because you can subdivide this thing to heck. So 4/4 is how many notes you have in a measure, right? So you have 4 quarter notes in a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can also subdivide it. So instead of a quarter, you have an 1/8 note. So it'd be an 1/8 note would. I figured out a way to explain this a lot better. So there's also stuff known as whole notes. That means they take up the whole measure. That's basically so you hold it out for one entire measure. I think I have a couple in here. So basically, it's a whole bunch of subdividing. So it starts out, with a wait, where? It's basically rhythm is subdivided by however you want to subdivide it. A measure is how many beats are in the song. So this one has 3 beats, and it's measured at the quarter note. So 3 beats, and it's measured by quarter notes. So that means that the 3 beats are going to be 1, 2, 3. But when you see a quarter note, right? That's what the count is by. So it's counting by those. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But if you subdivide that, you can do 1/8 notes, and it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 the same thing for this. And the measure basically just counts that. So if I'm reading this, right? 1. This is a great example of how music notation is used to chop down stuff and make it, abbreviated. The little black bar underneath the whole thing, since it's underneath, it's a whole note. If it was above, it'd be a half space. Half rest. There we go. This stuff is quarter rests. That's a whole rest. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Anyway, the reason why there's 2 bars at the side is because it's the whole thing has been taken by that rest. So, well, let me find it again. The whole thing can be taken by this. It can be taken by this. It can be taken by this. Oh, sorry. It can be taken by this. Yeah. Let me see if I can explain it better. 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh! The reason I'm counting to 4 is because of the top number. So I'm counting to 4. And that 4 beats can be taken up by this. It can be taken up by this. That's the reason for the bars on the side. So you can see where the breakup between your 4 beats are. Yeah. So the little lines here, they're placeholder marks that tell you when you've run out of those 4 beats and when it starts over again. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. You've got it. I'm sorry I explained that so poorly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason why these notes are the normal notes for this time signature. I can explain a whole bunch of different stuff. There's crazy stuff, dude, like 12/8 and like it's in 7/8 and 5/4. It's not fun. But that's for jazzers to deal with, not me. So 4 beats is 1 measure. And these are the normal notes for this kind of these are the normal notes for this kind of time signature. The ones that just have the normal lines, just filled in note with a stem going off. These are the normal notes. Now you could have ones that don't have it filled in, and they're longer, right? Ones like these notes. Yeah. So when I'm saying quarter notes, it's a quarter of a measure. These notes represent a quarter of this time measurement. So it's going to each one is going to take on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was off there, but yeah. So it lands as a chord of that note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the fractions of the rhythm. Yeah, that's the reason why you have to know a little bit about math to be able to figure this out, because that's a quarter of it. And how do I say this? Everything is a fraction of the rhythm, in a sense. Unless you're playing, well, even if you're playing a whole note, you're taking the whole rhythm. You're taking the whole bar. You're taking the whole bar as one big thing. Let me see if I can't find that whole note. I tell you what, I could probably go up online and then just screen share this to you too.